Welcome back to the Pittsburgh Sports Saviors. It is
Yes,
October 18th, Wednesday night. I'm here with Lee. How you been, man?
I've been all right. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Did
Yeah.
you get I guess we'll start off by just talking about week 6. You get a chance to watch a game. For me,
Yeah,
I would
good.
just love the fact that I didn't have to stress and hate my life
Yeah,
Sunday and
yeah,
won this week.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I saw a meme that we lost during the bye week anyway, against to the bye week.
no,
It's
that's
just,
too much. That's too
I
much.
know, I know.
Poor
I
guys are
just, I
3 and
just,
2.
no, I'm glad we didn't have to stress for sure.
Uh,
I just really hope that they made some adjustments. And like you said last week, hopefully there's some revamping coming on for some of the
yeah, yeah.
players and the team itself, so
Uh,
we'll see what happens. But I did see some games. Um, of course, the Cowboys just lost. What was that 2 nights ago? Or the Cowboys won, sorry, 2 nights
yeah,
ago
yeah, they
against the
won that.
Chargers.
Yeah.
They choked right there at the end. There was some big brawl, I guess, that took place, some fight after the game. The
Yeah, I didn't
Cowboy
read too
fans.
much into that. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Chiefs won on Thursday night, this past Thursday night last
Yeah,
week
they won Thursday against the
against the Broncos.
yeah.
The Broncos.
And then
Um,
looking to the AFC North, I guess. Go through them.
the
Ravens
Ravens
won,
beat.
but
Yeah,
it wasn't a very convincing win. It was pretty sloppy 9:30 game, but this happened a lot when you go over to London. I think it's tough to
yeah,
play a
yeah,
great game. Both
yeah,
the Browns and the Bengals got back to 3-3.
yeah,
Browns with big upset against 49ers. Um,
yeah,
I the Niners just seem to flop this week. I don't know. I watched that game.
yeah.
Purdy was bad. I mean, maybe it's the Cleveland defense, but compared to what they
I
did
don't
against
know.
us week 1, definitely look
Yeah,
like a different team.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
Even with the win though, if Deshaun Watson's going to be out, who knows what's going on with his shoulder? There seems to be a lot of controversy and
Yeah, yeah.
conflict building up there. Um, I don't see them too much of a AFC North threat. The Bengals are weird
Yeah.
because they won. Seattle's a pretty decent team, but that offense that's supposed to be one of the best offenses in the league is still struggling. Only
Oh,
17
oh
points.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Burrow
I
was hurt to
oh,
start the year.
yeah. Jamar Chase, he was talking about wanting a trade at one point. I think he had gotten to an argument with Zach Taylor. And then there was that game 2 weeks ago against the Cardinals, and he had like 3 touchdowns and like 16
Yeah.
catches. It's
The
like
week before
it's
that
like
was whenever he got a little pissed off at the reporters after. I think it was a
yeah,
meeting after the game. They were asking about whether or not he was open. He said he's always open, which is
he's always open. Yeah.
when you're performing and you're getting those 3 TDs, you can get away with that. But
Oh yeah, for sure, for
uh,
sure, for sure, for sure.
at least he backed up the shit talk.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Uh,
for sure. So it's gonna be an interesting race in the AFC North, with
mhm.
everybody being around the same record,
Yeah,
so but we do have that nice 2-0
yeah, that's what I was thinking
lead right
too.
now. That's what's
Mhm.
helping us out right now. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about the 49ers and Eagles getting upset?
Yeah, that's the next thing I was going to go to is both those games, they looked like two different teams, especially the quarterbacks.
Yeah,
They just
yeah.
looked like they were completely out of it, which is interesting because at the beginning of their careers, a lot of people expected stuff like this to happen for them, but they've been
Uh-huh.
smooth sailing for so long, both Hurts and Purdy, that
Yeah.
you kind of forget they were later round picks, especially Purdy
Mhm.
being end of the draft. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. We'll see how we go forward. Last week we went into the individual players, MVPs, and all that. But I figured since there's not much Steeler talk, we can talk from week 6. We can go into grading position by position so far through the
Okay.
first few weeks of the season.
Yeah.
So first off, we can go into grading Kenny. I think I'm going to be more controversial, so I'll let you go first.
I was thinking was thinking a C minus,
Mhm.
maybe a D plus, C minus though. That's um he's 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 supposed to be our quarterback like we talked about last week, and he's definitely not making any plays. And you had brought up a good point last week. He definitely looks worse this year than he did last year. Um, he's throwing a lot of interceptions. Um, again, we could talk about things look good in the preseason, but this is the regular season, and we have um, the real defensive positions for each team up there playing the first team defense, and he's just not making plays like he should. Again, I don't want to say he should be good where he's at. I mean, he still is just a second year quarterback, but again, like you said last week, depending on the rest of the season and if this draft class is good, I mean, we may have to move forward. So it's just I'm hoping that he took some time this week to go over some film, look at his game, see where he's making mistakes. Maybe he can try to make some better plays. We can throw all the blame at Matt Canada for the offensive playbook, but he is the quarterback and he's the one out there throwing the ball. So he has to be seeing what is going on with the defense. So I think I'm giving him about a C minus right now.
Yeah, I'm giving him a D. A lot of the
Yeah.
same things you said, but uh, he just hasn't performed. He's been a bottom tier quarterback. There's nothing you can
Yeah.
say one way or the
Yeah.
other. Across the board, I think he's been worse than he was last year. He looks less confident. And I was gonna say competent, but I guess that works too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's signs there that he can be a starter in this league, a solid starter in this league. He's shown already that he's great in the 2 minute drill at the end of the game.
Yeah, for sure.
He's the guy you want to win the game at the end, but we need
Mm-hmm.
we need a guy who can be all 60 minutes, and he hasn't had a 60-minute performance yet.
No.
So I guess we can move on to the running backs. I'll go first here since I had you go first last time. I'm giving him a C.
Yeah.
I think it's fair. Najee and Jalen Warren, I think they've had some success at times. And that both of them, I think we're a little too hard on Harris every once in a while. Like I just try to prepare for this. I looked up some of the stuff, and his yards after contact and everything are pretty strong. But he hasn't been the game breaker you need. Warren showed the flashes, so I could see a higher grade, but I'm just overall down on the offense, so I just want to go with a C.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, you hit it right on the head. I mean, everything. The rushing hasn't been great. The offensive line has been great, the offense just hasn't been great. Jalen Warren has definitely had a lot more plays than Najee this season. Again, Najee has had some plays here and there, but the running game is not up to par where it needs to be. So I definitely agree with you on a C.
So how about receivers now? What are you thinking there?
I'm gonna go C plus. We do have some George Pickens, pretty much. I don't think he's had a drop this season. The ball's been overthrown to him. He catches everything. He's very good on the sideline. Calvin Austin has the speed. We've only seen one good play from him, and that was in that Raiders game where he had that streak play. I don't know if they're getting any more streaks with him. I haven't seen much. But George Pickens has a couple touchdowns. We haven't seen much of Allen Robinson at all. Again, I don't know if this offense is working for him or if he's just not the playmaker he was when he's with the Rams. There's only been maybe just a few big plays. There was the George Pickens in the Browns game. It was like 70, I think it was like 70 yards or 60 yards. I can't remember. There was the streak in the Raiders game, and then last week or 2 weeks ago with the Ravens, almost the last play of the game with George Pickens touchdown. Just haven't seen too much with the wide receivers. There's been some big plays, but not enough. So I'm going to go C+.
Yeah, I went C here. And I think most of it, if it wasn't for Pickens, I'm going D, maybe even E at this point. I
Yeah,
think he's been the only
yeah,
bright spot there. You have to give them some slack for the lack of Deontay Johnson. He's coming back this week, most likely. I think that'll make a big difference. But even Pickens, he's been great, but he hasn't been like a number one great yet.
yeah,
His
yeah.
fault. It's just the way the offense has been built so far. He hasn't been able to break out. He still has time to do that. He was your guy last week for who you think is going to step up the rest of the way.
Yeah,
I think that's a good
so.
call there. But yeah, Austin, he's still young. He lost. It's virtually his rookie season. He lost all last year.
Yeah.
Once he gets to get some reps and then doesn't have as much responsibility, they can make some unique little plays for him. I think. Allen Robinson, he's been a total non-factor. Week 1, I was probably his best game, and that wasn't anything spectacular at all. I think he had
not at all
50, somewhere around 50 yards, maybe. I can't remember for sure.
But
having Johnson back, I think will help. But right now, I'm going with a C for them.
Yeah, I got you.
Moving on to the tight ends, I think I'm just gonna go with a D because there hasn't been much to see. Freiermuth had a lot of success last year. I expect a lot from him this year. And then Washington had a lot of hype in the preseason, but I'm not going to blame him too much for lack of production because I don't think there's that hype was realistic for someone who was drafted where he was drafted. He's got the height and everything, but you still got to learn how to play tight end. And tight end is one of the toughest positions I think to adapt to in the NFL. You don't see too many rookie tight ends having success.
Yeah, I agree with you. We haven't seen much. I think Freiermuth might have 1 touchdown this season, maybe 2, but haven't seen much. No plays at all from any of the tight ends, really. Haven't seen much. I definitely agree with a D there. Yeah,
Freiermuth has the 2 touchdowns, but he only has 8 catches overall.
Wow.
That's in 4 games. We got to remember though, because he's been hurt a little bit. And then Washington has 1 catch so far this year for 10 yards. So, I don't know how well have you been checking out their blocking or anything. I don't think anyone's been particularly good, but I haven't seen anything from them that should be critiqued hardcore though either.
The other one I don't think we've seen is Hayward, right? Isn't the other tight end?
Yeah, Connor Haywood's out there. He is what he is. I don't know. I'm not gonna really expect much from him production wise. Anything you get from him I think's a little extra. He's more like your H-back type. So next we got the offensive line.
F.
Yeah.
F.
I agree with you there. That's the same way I'm thinking.
I don't know how many times Kenny's been sacked, but he's running around too much. They're not blocking for the running game. They're not giving him enough time to throw. It's just there's just no line. And they were talking about this year that we were going to have a better offensive line with the people that we've picked up and drafted in that. But there's just it doesn't seem that this line is any better this year. Than it was last year. So I got to go with an F.
Yeah, I'm right with you with the F. I think to look for some hope. It's still only a few games. I think it is important for the chemistry to build when you have an offensive line that's brand new. And then I think Broderick Jones, hopefully, there's talk, there's a little bit of a controversy going on with Dan Moore coming back and him getting his starting job back even after the performances he's had and the performances that Jones has had that have been, in my eyes, much better than what we were seeing from Dan Moore. So those are 2 things to look forward to, I think.
Yeah. I Mason Cole might be the worst. I don't know.
Yeah, I just can't take him up the middle. And then this week he has Aaron Donald to deal with. So
Oh,
let's have
yeah.
fun, right?
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so our final grades were quarterbacks. It was a D for me, for Kenny so far. Lee had him at a C minus. Running backs, we both went with a C there. Receivers, I had it at a C plus, and Lee was thinking C plus. So I had it at a C, and Lee
Yeah.
had it at a C plus. Tight ends, we both picked D, and then offensive line, we both have F. So
Yeah.
I guess we can switch over to the defense. And
All
I think
right.
we'll both agree with this one. We'll get it out of the way the quickest. Will just be the edge rushers. We'll both go A.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We've done our praises each week. I don't think we have to go too much into it. Um, Watt's one of the best. If I mean,
Hmm.
I'll go. He's the best in the league.
Yeah.
And then if he was hurt, I still think we got a top 10 rusher on the other side. Highsmith,
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a top 10 guy if he's not already.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then if we can go interior defensive line, I went with the C. I don't know. No one's really jumped out, but no one's been too bad. I've put some praise on Benton before. I think he's going to be good, but he's technically not the starter yet. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I'll go there. I'll go with the C.
I think I'm gonna go C plus. I think, I agree with you. I haven't seen too many flashy plays. There have been some sacks from the interior line, not as many as the linebackers. But yeah, there hasn't been too much big play. I mean, they might stop a run here or stop a run there, but you know, a lot of teams are running all over us, and a lot of quarterbacks are getting a lot of time to pass the ball in that. So, I'm gonna go C plus.
And how you feeling about the linebackers?
I'm gonna say B plus.
B plus. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say B plus there. There's been a lot more sacks from them. Again, our edge rushers have got the most, but there's been a few there. They've made some plays. But definitely still need to stop the run when the run gets past the line some more, and maybe cover some of those crossing routes that the receivers and tight ends are doing. But overall, I think I'd say about a B plus for the linebackers.
Yeah, I went with B. I was thinking more. I was focusing more on like the interior guys since we
Oh, okay.
had the rushes there. I'll go B there, and maybe it's because maybe it's more of a curve that I'm grading on because I think going into the season the middle linebackers were somewhere where we weren't sure how they were going to
Yeah.
perform. But I think there's been good flashes from all of them. Alexander, Roberts, Holcomb's been all right, I guess. Yeah, I'll go B there. Next, we got the cornerbacks, which I think might be my biggest disappointment so far on the defensive side of the ball. I'm giving them a D. It just Patrick Peterson's not been the Patrick Peterson we know. He's probably a Hall of Famer, but he hasn't been one for us. That's for sure. Levi Wallace, they chose to keep him over a couple other receivers or a couple other cornerbacks. We're going to see one this week in Akilla Willispoon, who's been off to a great start with the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, Joey Porter keeps getting more reps. For some reason, they don't think he's ready yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're in practice every week. We'll see. Obviously, he had made the great play in the last game. So, question is, what do you want to? What's stopping them from making the change is what I want to know. There has to be something there.
Yeah.
But I'll go D there. What are you thinking for the corner?
Yeah, I agree completely, 100% with you.
Okay.
D. There, I agree there. There's just, they're not making many plays like they should be, and if it wasn't for some drop passes that some of the receivers are throwing, or that the quarterbacks are throwing to the receivers that aren't dropped, I think a lot of these receivers are getting over 100 yards on us. offensively. I mean, you can look at Zay Flowers from the Ravens game. He drops, he doesn't drop those like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
He probably has over 102
Yeah,
touchdowns.
it could have got ugly.
CJ Stroud torched us. He did
Yeah.
anything he wanted. Those receivers did
Yeah, that
whatever.
game was ugly. I've been
Yeah.
back. Like the 49ers is excusable.
Yeah.
Yeah, with everything go like I mean the Cleveland game, the offense was really bad in it also, but at least you pulled those wins out. But that Houston game, I just every time I look at it, I just don't understand what happened.
I don't either, So I definitely agree with you, D there, for the cornerbacks.
So next up, I went safeties. I went C. I think their coverage has been poor. Minka has not made the plays that you expect from him. Not seeing him without any takeaways really is crazy. We got a
Yeah.
little
I know.
spoiled, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think they're both really good. Both meaning him and Neil are pretty good in run support. And then KZ, if you want to put him back there, I think he's been all right too in coverage. But I went C there. I could see maybe if I'm gonna grade on a curve with the linebackers giving them a B, maybe I should go lower because Minka just hasn't been Minka, but I'll stick to my C.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I agree with you. We haven't seen much from any of the safeties. Like you said, normally around this time, Minka might already have 2 touchdowns, maybe already 1 return to it,
Yeah.
2 interceptions, I should say. Sorry, 2 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown, I should say. Usually around this time frame already. Just haven't seen him. I know that he got a little injured in that Browns game. I don't know if maybe he's still suffering from a little bit of an injury there. But we just haven't seen much from him. So yeah, I agree with you on the C.
Okay. And then well let's summarize that defense then. So on the defensive side of the ball, we had both gave the pass rushers A's. Interior defensive line, I gave it a C. You have a C plus.
C plus.
The linebackers, I went B, you went B plus. Cornerbacks, we both went with D's. Safeties, we're both at a C there. I guess we can touch on the special teams real fast. I'm going B. Mainly because of how great Boswell's been, and then you have to put something in there for Gunner. So that's why I'm not going A, but I'll go B.
Yeah, I mean he is just.
I
don't even know what to say about the guy. I'm up in the air with I can't. I got nothing to say to him. I agree with you. Boswell's the only thing keeping the special teams at a B. Being automatic and kicking all those field goals, keeping us in games. He's the only thing that's going for the special teams. Yeah, Gunner, I don't even know why he's back there. Why is he back there? Why?
They do have to activate some guys this week. Especially Johnson. I think if Johnson comes back, that might be the end of the Gunner show, but
I hope so. I hope so.
So
he's just not a playmaker.
Now that we've gone through our grade so far, what are some change? We have about 5 minutes or so. What changes are you thinking you would like to see going forward?
I'd like to see the offensive playbook opened up a little more wider. I think, like you said last week, there's too many just curl routes that they're doing. I think the receivers need to do some. They need to have the playbook just open a little bit more for the receivers to get some better plays. I'm hoping that there's going to be some better blocking. Maybe with Tomlin saying they're going to go full, equipment practices, maybe there'll be a little more blocking for Kenny. I'd like to see that Kenny did some film watching and saw, okay, these are where my players are. These are the plays, call some audibles at the line, so we can see some better plays offensively. I'm hoping Matt Canada opened up the playbook. Defensively, they got to stop the run. They got to stop the pass. I mean, it's just too high to be 30th overall defense-wise just to give up so many yards, especially to quarterbacks that are rookies or just starting their first year in the league. Teams that we should be beating, we should be beating them. I just don't get it. I'd like to see the defense make some more plays. I mean, we do got a good bit of turnovers, but it'd be better to keep them out of the end zone, maybe to some field goals or not even score at all. And like you said, again, offensively last week, we need to put points on the board. We need to score. I think I saw against that Ravens game, the past couple of years, our points per game has gone down each year. So I'd like to see some points being put on the board.
Yeah, I'm with you. They just got to bring some kind of life to the offense.
Yeah.
Using the whole field, that means maybe throwing more screens. Instead of those jet sweeps, maybe we use the screens on those plays. Maybe, I mean, not maybe. I think it's a necessity to start throwing the ball over the middle more, make more routes, more crossing routes, more like we were talking about. The curls are just too much, all that stuff there. And then I would like to see some no huddle, some hurry up. We've seen that Kenny's great in late in games in those situations. Maybe that can give us a spark every once. If the offense is slowing down, let's give them a chance to go no huddle and see what can happen.
Yeah.
They used to do that with Ben. Ben used to every once in a while would go no huddle. It doesn't have to technically be hurry up. You can just bring the defense to the line. You see what's going on. You make plays from there. It just something to give life into the offense.
Yeah.
And then just if we look over our grades, we both have Fs for the offensive line and we both have Ds for the cornerbacks. Guess what we did in the draft this year? We drafted an offensive lineman in the first round. We drafted a cornerback with the 32nd pick in the draft. Let's play them. Yeah. I think that's the biggest personnel change they can make, other than the obvious return of Deontay Johnson. But bring the rookies in. It can be what we've seen on the field has been great so far from the two of them. They both have pedigree. There's really no excuse to not give it a try. They're not playing. They're not taking the spots of some veterans who earned their. I mean, that Levi Wallace. I guess I was pausing myself on the veterans part because Peterson does have a track record, obviously, but I mean, at some point you got to step back. I think he's been open to that. I think he's even talked about the fact that he's willing to take a step back to give Porter some more reps. So that's the two I would like to see: more life in the offense, and then let's play our top draft picks. So it's been a nice week here. Anything? Any final thoughts? Going into
I hope that we can do good against the Rams. Like I said, Cooper Kupp's back. Nakua Puka has been doing pretty good for them as a rookie. Matt Stafford is still a pretty decent quarterback, and we got to watch out for Aaron Donald on defense. Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
I agree with all those takes there. Aaron Donald, it'll be fun to see what they do because I think they're smart enough to know that Mason Cole is not prepared for that matchup if they end up being in the middle together. Hopefully Donald's playing off the edge a little more than right in the middle there. Stafford's having a pretty solid start to the year. I think a lot of people were starting to worry about last year, but I think he's back to playing well. And Cooper Kupp looks like he hasn't missed a beat. I thought Puka was gonna fall off a little with Cooper coming back, but he seems to have just fallen right into a new role outside. So it's gonna be a tough matchup, tougher than I thought a couple weeks ago. But I think it's winnable. We'll see. I'm not hopeful.
See what happens. No, I hear you on that.